in London, do you have the history of the recent Broncos-Jets games that you sent me? Broncos 13, Jets 11. Jets remain winless at 0-6. Broncos moved to 4-2. Denver, it was 11-10 into the fourth quarter. Denver with the game-winning field goal or go-ahead field goal with 5 minutes left on a 12-play, 65-yard drive. The story of this game, though, Denver's defense / the Jets' offense. Justin Fields in the box score finished as 9 of 17 for 45 yards. But he also got sacked 9 times for negative 55 yards. So the way the NFL does passing stats, you have the players' passing stats, and then you have the team passing stats, of which the sack total comes off the team number. So the Jets finished with negative 10 net passing yards, but they still scored 11 points.
Yes.
It's a fascinating
That's
game.
the worst number since, you know when?
I think it was 08.
No. Further.
The negative passing yards?
Yep.
I thought it was the
10 negative
Chargers.
passing
98.
yards. Yes.
Chargers in 98.
Ryan Leaf. It's the worst total since Ryan Leaf's third game in the NFL.
Good for Ryan.
The last 3 games of the Jets versus the Broncos, 16-9, 10-9, and then 13-11.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. This was ugly. I mean, we know Denver's defense is good. We also know Justin Fields. What's that stat about his completions and
It's the
sacks?
third game of his career where he's had at least the same number of sacks as completions in a single game.
It's bad football.
It is. And it's why I think you have to say, like, we know that Denver has arguably the best pass rush in the NFL. It's why you need to say it's not just that, right? Like, okay, if it was a random quarterback who doesn't have that history, you could say, yeah, sure, the pass rush was just too much. But it's not. It's Justin Fields who held the ball for, the same standard 3 seconds of play that he always holds the ball for, and has had multiple games in his career already that look like this. And there were a bunch of sacks that he didn't need to take in this game. It's not just the pass rush. It's also him.
Yeah, I mean, it's always more than one thing. If you get sacked 9 times, like there's some in there where it's like it's 3rd and 6, you have a guy open in the flat, you're staring at him.
Yeah.
It might not pick up the first down, like he's going to have to catch it and break a tackle, but it's better than a negative 8-yard sack, right? Like throw the ball. There's other plays. There's the Nick Bonito play. It seems once a week, it's like he's in the huddle, knows the snap count, and the poor left tackle gets the stat like, Olu Fashanu, you gave up the sack. Like, Benito's just by him. Like, no left tackle. Trent Williams probably isn't going to block him when he gets that type of jump. And
those 2 edge rushers they have time the snap better than anybody else in the NFL.
They are unbelievable.
Which makes you wonder why teams aren't using like a dummy count more against the Broncos than they are at the moment.
I'll be interested when they do. They have to play the Chiefs twice, and Kansas City, Mahomes is good with the snap count, and they're very good at keeping the edge right. Like when they go up against good edge rushers, they're good at keeping them on a string and screening them and using misdirection. I'll be interested in that matchup, which we'll talk about in a few weeks here. But Bonito had a sack like that where he just had no chance. And then there's other ones where you're like, all right, get rid of the ball, man. Got to get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
Holding it too long. So that was ugly from a Jets perspective and impressive from a Broncos perspective. But the Jets hung tough. They're sitting there winning 11-10 with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And then, you unleash you Old Faithful, Marvin Mims, out of the backfield. You put Marvin Mims in the backfield for a 26-yard gain to help set up the game-winning.
That was the crazy thing about this game is the Jets' offense was absolutely wretched. They were going nowhere. They were doing the New York media market has already been after Aaron Glenn's hide for the last couple of weeks. This was the first game where I think there's like real ammunition there to work with. I mean, multiple things in this game that I think are absolutely, maybe not inexcusable, but certainly things that he has to answer for. The thing just before halftime is the most obvious one, but like early in the game, they ended up being saved. Aaron Glenn got saved from burning a challenge on a 6-yard catch on first down, where they ended up looking at it anyway and being like, yeah, you know what, that was incomplete. He was all set to challenge that. Like, dude, this is a nothing play in the middle of the first quarter. What are you doing? Like, it doesn't matter if it calls incomplete or not.
Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that. Hit that subscribe button, and now let's get back to the action. Every year we say this with new head coaches. You just don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what's going to happen the first time they challenge when they're not supposed to. You don't know what's going to happen the first time they have an end of half or end of game situation and they look completely unprepared. So people ask us all the time, who do you like as a coach? And this, and like when it's a first time coach,
right?
And it's interesting in the NFL, you get some retread coaches, but the usual trend in the NFL is hot coordinator. Like, did you call good plays on one side of the ball? Yes, great. You're going to be a head coach someday. And so you have no idea how they're going to handle the game management aspect of things. And then, of course, you have just before the half, they're in Hail Mary range, and they're just like, take it to the locker room.
Well, yeah, so that sequence was crazy. They were, number one, at that point, at the 2-minute warning in the first half, the Jets had 13 yards of offense, right? And they were only 10-6 down and had the ball, right? Like, somehow the Jets could come out of this first half in the lead of this game. On that drive, they go for it on the first fourth down they get, and you're like, okay, they're trying to score. They're trying to at least go in down one, maybe take the lead. And then they just they go for the fourth down, get it, and continue the drive. And then the next one rocks up. They're at where were they? Midfield somewhere. And then just let the clock run down. They're just like, no, we're good. Going for it in this situation would be far too risky. We couldn't possibly, gamble with that. We're just going to let the clock expire and everybody go to halftime. And the announcers couldn't believe what was happening. Garrett Wilson couldn't believe what was happening. He ends up screaming at Aaron Glenn going into the locker room. They interviewed him afterwards. I'm paraphrasing, but he was basically saying, yeah, I was really mad when I didn't know what was happening. And then when I found out what was happening, I was just really disappointed. Because what was happening is they were like, you know what? 10-6 is good, right? For us right now, 10-6 is a good result. Let's not look a gift horse in the mouth and let's take that into the locker room. You're like, that's crazy approach in this game.
I hate that completely. I get the pregame. If you said on Thursday you're talking about the game, like, hey, if we're within a score at half, well,
I mean, even if
we're all right, we'll strike in the second half. Doesn't mean you sit there and like, hey, we talked about this when we game planned. We're happy with this. It's like, no, you just throw the Hail Mary.
Even in the situation that I just outlined, you have 13 yards at the 2-minute warning and you're down 10-6. You're like, well, that's outstanding, right? Somehow.
Exactly what
right. But you're like, yeah, but then you can take a shot for nothing. Like, you might, okay, a Hail Mary's a pretty unlikely play, but why not give it a crack? What's the worst that could happen is they could house it and you end up looking stupid.
It's part of a
that's
bigger,
also pretty unlikely.
It probably doesn't change the game. But it is part of a bigger issue. And the New York market, everything is like, if the Titans were in the New York market, could you imagine?
Callahan would already be fired.
There's one guy in Tennessee that, attacks the head coach and is like, hey, man, you said this and you're not backing it. There's one media member. Multiply that by 20 in New York.
Everybody in the Giants media room is Paul Kuharsky.
So it's like, yes, Paul. Love you, Paul. We have an 0-6 Jets team, and all you want to see is you don't have anything. They're already calling him Rich Kotite, They're already calling him. They're already making Kotite comps. Some people are.
This is how you're like, why are the Jets, which talent-wise should be a sort of feisty, difficult-to-beat team, why do they keep losing every week? Well, it's stuff like this. They're not trying to win. Literally not trying to win. That was a thing of there is minimum. There was plenty of time left on the clock. I forget how much, but there was plenty of time to operate, right? A really ballsy move would have been, we're going to go for this fourth down too, convert it, and then actually, work with the next series and try and win try and put up points and, work with the time on the clock. Okay, I'm all right saying, you know what? Justin Fields, our quarterback, he's not playing well. The offense has barely moved the ball in the first half. That's super risky. And if we don't get it, they have time and they can score. Fine, right? I am just about okay with that level of conservatism and saying, you know what, that's too much to go. But then take the shot at the Hail Mary. At the very minimum, let's run down the clock, put 2 seconds left on the clock, and then take a shot into the end zone. Because then the only thing you're risking is the absurdly unlikely chance that they not only intercept the Hail Mary, but somehow return it the length of the field.
I could hear the argument that we're a little worried about this pass rush and Justin Fields getting strip sacked. I could hear that argument, but that is playing not to lose. And if that is the whole, we're playing not to lose instead of playing to win.
But also, if you're running a Hail Mary, they're not going to be rushing, 6 at you. They're probably not even going to be rushing 4 at you. And Justin Fields is also a freaky athlete. If if you don't think that Justin Fields can evade a 3-man rush for a couple of seconds and heave the ball downfield, then what is the point in Justin Fields? Like, if that is your concern, I don't think that he can actually hold the ball for 3.5 seconds in order to launch a Hail Mary. Then he shouldn't be out on the field. Then you should have Tyrod Taylor on as a quarterback because he's more likely to operate in this circumstance.
Just from a Denver perspective, again, their defense, it's fierce. When you sack a quarterback 9 times, you often look to the pass rush. You're like, well, it's all the pass rush. But Denver did a nice job on the back end, taking options away. Also, Fields held the ball a little bit too long. We know all that. But Denver remains one of the best combinations of, meshing the pass rush and coverage. How many? 7 different players had sacks. Yeah. That is just a very Vance Joseph Denver Broncos.
8 if you include half sacks.
If you include it, so 8 different people
sacks
tackling the quarterback. Yes, that's including Hufanga from safety.
Right.
And, linebackers getting in there and everything. So impressive defensive effort from the Broncos. Evan Ingram did a nice job offensively. Had 4 out of their 9 first downs at tight end. And I think he's been a nice addition. Like, the Broncos have some pieces on offense. Yeah. It was just an inconsistent game. They had an early turnover fumble from Troy Franklin.
Damn it, Troy.
I know. Killing us.
They also had the classic. So we've been talking about this. The overthrow from Bo Nix that seems to pop up every week, right? Where it's like, dude, if that guy could just connect on some of these deep shots, there's some serious plays to be had. I was watching Brandon Perna, friend of the show. That's Good Sports is his YouTube channel. I'm sure you're aware of it. I was watching his live stream during the game.
Up-and-coming YouTuber.
Right, yeah.
That we're trying to help
out. An up-and-comer with whatever he is, 800,000 subscribers. He has a name for these. He calls them Boverthrows.
Boverthrows.
Yeah. Huh? This was the weekly Boverthrow.
And he's a Bo-lever.
Indeed. To Marvin Mims. It usually is Mims or Troy Franklin. But the classic early game Boverthrow where he could have had an absolute bomb. Missed it.
As a Bo-lever, does he treat it the same way John Madden used to treat Brett Favre overthrows? He's like, that Brett, he just loves football so much, he's just going to have a couple overthrows. A little too fired up early in the game.
No, I think he's aware that they're just bad plays.
Oh, okay. So he's not explaining them away?
No.
Go follow Perna.
Yeah.
He needs a little uptick.
He needs the help from our channel.
Followers. He should give us a shout out again. So his chair broke on the tell the story quick. We got all day.
Yeah, I was watching his stream, and the back of his chair fell apart. Like, the back of the chair just came off in his hand as he was adjusting it or whatever. Like, goes
relatable.
Like this, and then the back just falls off.
Very relatable. All right, I got no more use for this game.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing.
And the all-knowing algorithm is convinced you'll also like these videos, and who are we to argue?